We're each giving our top 3 animated movies that Disney should remake. This is Talk Punch. Thank you so much to both our audio podcast listeners and our YouTube viewers for joining us. I'm Brody. As always, I'm joined by Dong Dylan.
Hey.
And the man of 1,000 nicknames, Charlie Hickman.
How's it going?
Oh, it's good. It's good now. I got you guys here.
Oh, yes.
All right. Well, if at any point you like what you hear and you want to hear more, we do have a Patreon where you can get exclusive content about topics you won't hear on this main channel, such as mailbags, behind the scenes, special lists, all that fun stuff. You can find more information about that in the description below. And if you haven't already, we'd love it if you subscribed and hit that notification bell so you can come back here every Wednesday to hang out with us and have some fun. Okay, so this one is going to be a fun one because I know people are tired of the remakes. We hear it. It's all over the online. Disney, just make stuff. Stop just remaking all your animated things. And so we thought, hey, what are some animated movies that we do want to see remade? I don't want Bambi. I'm sorry. I don't want Bambi.
No.
But there are ones that I do want. So we're going to talk about it.
What about a Bambi revenge story? Can I interest you in that?
That's a different movie that we will be talking about in the month of October. Thank you for the segue, Charlie. We're going to be going over, we're going to be talking about the Twisted Child universe. You may be familiar with it with the Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and stuff like that. We've got all sorts of October Halloween content coming up soon. But yeah.
Hey, no, I say you go with, Bambi meets Godzilla.
Oh, you never sent us that link, Dylan. You're supposed to send us that link.
I did.
You did?
I did too.
Oh, I didn't get it.
Brody will post the link below.
Oh golly. Okay. Well, I have no idea what it is.
There you go.
Maybe you can search for it on your own. Just in case. All right. How are you guys feeling about this top 3? I kind of sprung this one on you guys. Was this easy or hard? How about that? Dylan?
It was kind of a mixture of both. Some of them, I went with ones that I thought haven't really had their fair share of acclaim or what have you. Like a lot of the they seem to be kind of forgotten. So those are the ones that I was looking at. Something that needs a little revitalization. Get back into the people's zeitgeist.
There you go. How about you, Charlie?
Yeah, I know normally I have a pretty scientific methodology for how I choose my stuff. I kind of went with ones that I'd like to see. So that was it was a very low bar to hurdle. I know that we talked about like if it's as long as it's not like officially already in production, it was fair game. But I didn't do any of the rumored in production ones either, so I stayed away from that. Just to, I don't know how much crossover there's going to be. I'm guessing 1 or 2 for sure.
Between the 3 of them. I don't know. I'm really curious. I was thinking about that as I was making my list. I was like, how much crossover are we going to have? Well, let's find out. Oh, the fade. Where's my stinger? Doggone OBS. Well, that's fine. Okay, so the order today is Dylan, me, and then Charlie.
Hey, that's me.
All right, Tudong. Nice. What's your number 3?
I was going back and forth on a couple of different ones, but you know what? I went number 3 with Encanto. It's already a bunch of human beings. It's ready to be, made with live action. I actually really enjoy this. I was going back and forth with a different one for number 3. But this is the one that I thought, you know what? I haven't seen something like this, and it really didn't get a fair share of any sort of like focus when it came out. And I thought it was an excellent movie. It really caught my daughter's attention and shocked me. And I also think Stephanie Beatrix is one of the best working actresses out there today. And I don't know if they would bring her back for the character, but I mean that would just be icing on the cake. But either way, I loved the movie. I liked the entire dynamics, and I thought, yay, you know what? Let's give it another fair shake here.
Interesting. This is a recent one.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Very true. Not many people, bring up Encanto, and which shocks me. I saw it and I was like, wow, it's pretty good. So
everybody brings it up when you say Bruno, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. As soon as you say Bruno, then they're like, "Oh, Encanto."
Oh, well, we don't
But
talk
there's
about
not a
Bruno.
lot of times I'm walking around talking about Bruno. Yeah, we don't talk.
Well, it's because we don't talk about Bruno. I mean,
Yeah, we're
come
not
on.
supposed to talk about Bruno. No, this is a good pick. I didn't even consider this one. I was trying to stay a little bit older, but I could see this one. I could see it.
I think it would
Nice.
lend itself really well to live action.
It is a lot of humans. I will say for my list, I tried to stay away from stuff with a lot of animals. I don't know. I tried to stay.
You're making fun of the fact that I did The Great Mouse Detective as my number one.
No, okay. So I actually consider Great Mouse Detective because but yeah, I stuck with humans. But that was the one animal one I considered. But I was like, yeah. So I don't know. The animal ones, I just keep thinking about Lion King. I felt like something.
Oh wow,
something disconnected with Lion King for me. All right, my number 3 is a bit older and a bit forgotten, I want to say, and that's The Black Cauldron. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, so I feel like we haven't had any like big fantasy movies. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely forgetting something really obvious. But I'm like, we haven't had like a live action like fantasy movie in a long time.
Like sword and sorcery.
Yeah. We haven't had. I mean, we had like Dungeons and Dragons, I guess, recently. But this one, it's got like the kid with the sword. It's got the princess. It's got the dogs. It's got like one of the scarier Disney villains. That this was like the first. I remember this one because I remember hearing about the first Disney animated movie to be rated PG. And then I had to go watch it. And so, but like it's got this scary bad guy, the Horned King, right? And so like I just think it would be a really cool live action movie. It would be a little bit spooky, which some of those older fantasy movies are. And so I think it would just be really neat. And it's got mostly humans. It's got a couple animals, but I don't think they talk, like the dog and the pig and stuff.
Like what about like that cat thing with a face on it?
No, that's a dog
in the poster. Is it a dog?
That's a dog.
Well, there's a dog, and then there's another.
Give you nightmares, Brode.
What's the other thing?
A pig.
Oh, that's a
lizard.
It's a pig.
The pig.
Down at the bottom.
Pig. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, it's very small on my screen.
Okay. Yeah, and then there is a goblin and stuff like that. And I guess that I was reading a little bit about this while I was doing this. The goblin was actually something that Andy Serkis kind of took inspiration from when he was doing Gollum. And I was like, oh, what an interesting little tidbit. So, but I guess they had to like cut scenes out of the end. It was like making kids really scared and crying and things like that. And so they cut a bunch of stuff out, and it still wound up with a PG rating. But I was like, oh, let's get a spooky fantasy back.
So, I like a hard R for the Black Cauldron live action
maybe
remake.
Not a hard R. Maybe not that.
After the success of Deadpool 3, Disney's going all in on the hard R, Black Cauldron.
Oh,
Dark Crystal. It's going to be all just like
no.
Hard R remix.
R sounds too scary for me. A PG-13 Black Cauldron, I could do that.
It's got to go hard R, bro. I'm sorry. It's Nightmare City for you.
No,
I got to admit, I don't know if I've ever even seen this movie.
I'm pretty sure you have, Charlie.
Think I've seen it.
I'm pretty sure that
it's possible. It's possible as a child, but I don't think
I remember bringing this home when I worked at Blockbuster, and you and I were living together, because that's when I first watched it. I was working at Blockbuster. I took it home, and I'm pretty sure we watched it.
I think you're thinking of the Sword in the Stone.
No.
Ah, that's it. That's it.
Black Cauldron, baby. Black Cauldron.
All right. Well,
Charlie, what's your number
speaking of
3?
Disney movies that are pretty easy to forget, my number 3 is one that I'd like to see remade, because I think it has some of the best like mythos of the Disney animated films. I think the aesthetic was like awesome. I loved the look and the feel. It's just a movie that kind of took itself a little too seriously, and maybe just was mistimed, and it's forgettable, you can say, but like there's like an underwater Indiana Jones style action adventure movie just waiting to be made, like a James Cameron directed Abyss. We're sending the actors under the water. They're living under like in a underwater station. We're filming the movie. It's gonna be we're gonna get Cameron and Christopher Nolan to direct it. We're gonna submerge. Everybody's in submarines. No, this was. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah. Yeah, this is a great one.
It's Michael J. Fox was fantastic. The voice acting was good.
Oh.
It was it just, I felt like it left a little meat on the bone. So I feel like in the act of redoing it, they could also spruce it up a little bit, maybe add a little bit of, more of that adventure feel to it, a little lightness to it.
Sure.
And still make it really exciting and adventurous, and it'd be really cool. It could be filmed. It'd be fun to see it with the technology we have today.
That'd be really cool.
I think, Charlie, that this is a great.
Oh,
Very good.
That sounds like a spoiler of things to come. I like it.
I'll say no more.
Well, I hope it's not your number one, because nothing feels worse than a number 3 being someone's number 1.
I thought it was the other way around.
I don't know.
All right,
Dylan, what's your 2?
Number 2.
Well, sometimes other people's number 1s are other people's number 2s, and my number 2 happens to be The Great Mouse Detective. Again, the only one that I figured into that would have like animals instead of people. But I will say I absolutely have always loved this Disney movie. It has never gotten its due, and that's the reason why I thought let's do this one again, because this was just so fantastic. I love how they brought in the parallels with Sherlock Holmes. Like, they really beat it to death, and I love that. I'm like, giving me more of that stuff. I loved. I mean, if they even did it and they just used the same voices, the voice acting is absolutely fantastic, especially for Vincent Price as Ratigan. I still call my youngest brother Ratigan all the time, and I always think of this character. I love this character. Ratigan. Absolutely. I'm a mouse. And they're like, yeah, we know you're a mouse. We all know you're a mouse. Yeah, nobody said that you're a rat.
All right,
And
so Dylan,
I mean, it did.
all right, I got a question for you.
Okay.
So we're talking about live action. What kind of live action is this? Do these look like real rats and mice? Do they look like disgusting little rodents, or are they kind of cutified in a more
little rodents?
Or are they cutified into more of a
unbelievable?
Hey, rats and mice are gross, man.
What? No, they're not. They're adorable.
Are they
they're just
cutified?
Like little midget dogs.
Do they have
they're
like
cutified just because? Huh? Well, you can't get Ratigan too cutified. He's the bad guy. And you've got the bat. What's his name? The rat. I have not seen it in a while, but I do remember. Like, damn, what is the name of the bat? Oh, I loved him. He was just muttering all over the place. And when you first see him, he's scary. He bursts in and he's like face first for some reason. But then he becomes like a really funny character. Oh, people were getting eaten left and right. Oh, I can't believe it. I don't know. I didn't say that I knew how they could successfully bring it into the world as a live action. All I'm saying is that I love this movie, and this is something that they were like going to bring back into the popular realm. I mean, like I'm like, come on, let's do this. Not like a sequel. We don't want anything like that. We want a nice remake. Somebody, a horror master, similar like a modern day like Vincent Price. I have no clue who it would be. Hey, maybe you get Benedict Cumberbatch, or you get Robert Downey Jr. to play the mouse detective and all that. All of these things would be fantastic. Just take all the people who are doing like Robert Downey Jr.'s you get Jude Law, you get Professor Moriarty, all of these different people in. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it and make it well, but this is something I'd like to see.
So long as it doesn't look like
I'm
a
sure
real rat.
Fidget is the name of the bat.
Fidget, that's right. Oh, good call. Yeah. Charlie will have a lot better things to say about this for his number 1.
I just don't want to see it look like a real mouse.
Oh, it's gonna look like a real mess.
Yeah, look at him. That's how mice look, bro. They're all happy and they're looking at you.
No, mice do not look like that. No, they don't.
Mice are adorable.
Mice are cute. I'm not sure. This is you just. All right, we're not going to get into Brody's animal takes today because we're going to offend too many people.
All right, well, let's move on to my number 2 then, which I think is a great pick because it's Atlantis.
Hey,
I think that this.
Nice.
I totally agree with you, Trey. I agree with you on all the stuff like this. Yeah, this was one of those. Because this came out in 2001, and it did not do well in the box office. I'm not sure why. It's one of those ones that you watch it and you're like, why did this not do well? It's got this cool like Jules Verne type inspiration to it. You get this underwater city, this underwater culture. You get like adventure. You get it's just fun characters, and I think it just gets forgotten. Another thing I was reading was that there were all sorts of plans. There was going to be a TV show. There was going to be a rides at Disneyland. The submarine ride at Disneyland was going to be themed after this. And after it did so poorly, they pretty much just scrapped it all. And so and so obviously, like, there's a lot that they could pull from this. They could expand on the characters and just, I totally agree with like the modern technology. I think it would look awesome. And so it was really neat, really neat. So this was one of those ones that I was like, oh man, I'd like to see that one in live action. So totally agree with all the points that Charlie made. He's a good pointer.
A good pointer. Thank you. Well, we'll see if you agree with my points on my next one. This probably is my number 1, and I switched it at the last minute for arbitrary reasons. So I have it here at number 2. And this came out the following year after Atlantis. And I just thoroughly enjoyed it. And this is like part of the streak that kind of made Disney stop doing the hand-drawn animation, like the run of movies.
I think I know which
Lilo and Stitch is already getting remade. So that one's covered. And we talked about Atlantis, but now it's time to talk about one of my favorites, Treasure Planet. Come on now. This is like begging to be remade. It is a beautifully animated film, by the way. If you've never seen this, you should watch it. It's like it's just gorgeous. And you get some Goo Goo Dolls music, a little Johnny Resnick, perhaps, singing some songs. But it's like you get the pirates in space. Like that's right. There's my elevator pitch for you. Pirates in space, and of course we get the Long John Silver tales, the Treasure Island, except with the planet here because it's science fiction. And this would just be really fun. And this could be maybe an even better television show, if I'm being honest. If we're pitching here, I could watch this as a live action TV show. Would be great. They had. We need Black Sails was on. It ended. We need another. Our Flag Means Death. We don't have any good pirate shows right now. So let's get a little sci-fi pirate television show going. If you're thinking, well, I don't know if that would work. Think about if I pitched you a Western sci-fi. You'd be like, well, I don't know if that could work. And then Firefly. So this could be like the new Firefly.
Not where I thought you were
you get like see that guy with the metal arm right there. That is Nathan Fillion. So I'm just letting you know right there. He's going to play Mr. Arrow, Nathan Fillion.
They had to do that because he would just be too handsome otherwise. They had to take like an arm, maybe a leg or two. Too handsome. That's what they were saying. That's the reason why. I don't blame him, and I don't blame Nathan Fillion.
I mean, in his younger days, he could have been, the lead. We could age up a little bit, age up the main character a little bit. We don't need to see like a 16-year-old or something gallivanting around the universe. Early 20s, played by like a Jason Priestley-esque 28 person. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
He was voiced by Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Maybe he could come back and do it.
I think Joseph Gordon-Levitt's like older than us. But yes, I would be I'd be in for that. I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's one of the rare 3-name people that was not a person who assassinated someone. So good on him. Like him and James Earl Jones, really kind of doing work out there for the people who have 3 names. Way to not kill anyone, Gordon. But so this is my pick, and I think you could envision several directors taking the helm. I'm going to pitch to you guys. I want maybe someone like David Fincher. Just someone who can bring like a gritty like practicality to it, something that you wouldn't expect. Maybe we go in a totally different direction here. We bring in what did you say, bro?
I said Christopher Nolan.
Nolan and Cameron already teaming up on the Atlantis live action.
How about this? Jonathan Nolan.
He can't helm everything.
Let's have Jonathan Nolan do it.
You don't want knock. That's like casting Tom Hanks' brother in something. You know,
no. Jonathan Nolan's good stuff.
So you're saying he's as good or better than Christopher?
That's not what I said. But Jonathan Nolan's really good. Come on,
you just like him because of the Westworld stuff.
Hey, also Fallout. He was doing Fallout. Come on, he does stuff.
He only has 3 directing credits to his name. 3 episodes of Fallout, 3 episodes of Westworld, and 1 episode of Person of Interest. So I'm not sure I'm ready to hand him the keys to the Treasure Planet franchise.
All right.
But if it's a TV show, he can direct 3 episodes. So.
Well, there you go.
All right, Dylan.
What's the name of the guy who did Dune? Is the director of Dune? That's why I could see doing this. Yeah, there we go.
Denny,
I could see him.
Villanueva?
Villeneuve?
Villeneuve?
He is really good at visuals, and this is a beautiful. He's
movie. Really good. Okay, my number.
Sean Levy give it a hard R. Get a Deadpool feel to it.
Gotta go hard R.
Gotta go hard R.
No.
A hard R, Great Mouse Detective. Come on.
If it doesn't give Brody nightmares, it doesn't belong on this list.
You know what? A hard R, Great Mouse Detective, maybe.
All right, I'm in.
All right, number 1, Tudong. What is your number 1?
This number 1 is it's one of the more forgotten Disney movies. It's one of the older ones, not severely old, but definitely older than any of us here in this channel. And that's good. And I know it's been in production before, but it's not, and it's never gotten forward with anything. And that's The Sword and the Stone.
I knew you were going to. I was going to guess it.
You got to go with The Sword and the Stone, and you got to have this kid, for some reason, not speak with a British accent if you really want to go full Sword and the Stone. Or are you going to go like, hey, if you're going to go like Ridley Scott Robin Hood? That's not what I was picturing at all. Just to let you know, not even close, not in any small like little way. I don't know. I would want to see somebody like fun to do this kind of thing. I wouldn't want this to be scary. I'd love to see a fantastic like Madame Mim. You know, you've got Merlin, you've got all sorts of these characters, and it leads up to something that's almost completely removed from the rest of the movie, and he just kind of picks up the sword and is, all right, here we go. And then he becomes king. And if you see the trailer for it, it makes it seem like they're looking for a sword so that he can claim his kingdom. And none of this stuff ever comes up. You don't think about the sword. You don't think about the stone. You hear about it at the beginning, and then you see it at the end. And what happens in between? He's learning lessons by being turned into other animals. And that's the real big thing. He has to learn that fish, they swim and they have reflexes, like they eat bugs and what have you. And hey, squirrels, they apparently procreate for life, which is I've never heard of any sort of a squirrel that does that. And last and definitely not least, birds, they fly. And he apparently is a natural. I don't even know what he learned from that, but I'll tell you, it's all worth it as soon as he gets to Madame Mim. And then you see them go through all the different animals in order for their wizard's duel. It is worth the price of admission by itself. Love the movie. Would love to see this. Done really well, like A-list stars and this kind of a thing. I mean, at least for Merlin and Madame Mim, that would be so much fun. Like, they could have a lot of fun with this. I don't know why I don't know what they're planning on doing with it. If they're going to make it more serious, if they're going to try and make it streamlined so it actually makes sense, or if they're just going to be completely bonkers and just go along with how this is in the cartoon, which is, I say, come on, just go with it this way. Perfect.
I can imagine that most of the budget would go towards that wizard's duel, with just how many different animals and creatures they turn into.
That'd be so cool. That'd be just great. All of these things would be fit.
I cannot help but think. So, for those of you who maybe are younger, if you ever go to the website IMDb nowadays, you'll notice there is no forum. But when we were younger, there used to be a forum. And Dylan is part of the reason why that forum no longer exists, because he got into a heated battle about the Sword in the Stone with someone who big fan of the show. I'm sure they still watch. I don't remember their handle, but Dylan, you want to explain a little bit about the argument of the Sword in the Stone briefly here?
I was saying that, hey, I felt bad for Arthur. He's this kid. He's not even started puberty yet, although, hey, his voice actor, one of them at least, certainly did. You can hear the change in the same scene, voice change. And I was like, it really sucks that, it's almost like, no means no with the squirrel scene. He's a kid. This is his first interaction with not the female race, but there weren't a lot of women around. There's like 3 in this entire movie. And one happens, I'm sorry, 4. 2 of them happen to be squirrels that can't speak, really. They don't understand anything. And they completely mess everything, misunderstand things. And even though you're pushing them away, they are still like, yes, what, you love me forever? Oh, that's perfect. And I was saying that really sucks. And they were like, oh, how could you? That squirrel is my complete idol. I love this squirrel. It's my favorite Disney character. And I was like, your character literally was trying to pick up an underage kid. That sucks. P.S. They don't even act like that. This squirrel is acting like a human, and that, well, we got to treat it like that. I was actually even like, hey, you know what? There's no need in being upset. Oh, but they were upset. There was nothing I could say. So then I just kind of went with it. I'm like, you are so adorable. You're so cute. You get angry. I was thinking that he only gets, I think it was a he or she, whoever they were, was just, they would go to different websites and be like, this
down on different corners of the web.
And they'd be like, this guy thinks that this one is dead. And I'm like, I never said any of this stuff. I never thought this.
Well, the early days of the
original
web.
internet troll was pretty great.
The early days of the web.
I never thought anything was like bad. I even said, I'm like, bro or ma'am, I don't think the squirrel's evil. I'm not saying they're a bad person or anything. I'm just saying it sucks for Arthur. How dare you say that about this squirrel? That squirrel is a saint. That squirrel just wanted to be loved. I'm like, yeah, okay. You disrespected her completely. I'm like, all right, that's great.
It's amazing. You just managed to find the most passionate Sword in the Stone fan out there. So look, they're gonna find this video when Brody hashtags it. So hi. Say hi to Dylan.
Hashtag Sword in the Stone.
Hey, all those times, by the way, people have said things online. That wasn't me. You kept saying, "Oh, you're this guy, aren't you?" And I'd be like, "I didn't know." It was really cute to see. Sorry.
What did you say, Charlie?
Brody, do you think squirrels are cute?
No.
You don't think squirrels are cute? No. Of course you don't. You think they're rodents.
No, they're rodents. Yeah.
So cute, bro. They're so cute.
They got better publicists than rats and mice, for sure.
They chew on things and they destroy things. They get into your birdhouses.
Like dogs. Like dogs and cats.
You're also describing kids, and kids are cute.
That's true.
They chew on things. They get in stuff they're not supposed to. They make a huge mess.
Destroy everything.
Yeah, and then they grow up to be self-sufficient. That's always my thing.
Little incubators of germs and disease. All right, bro. What's your number one?
Moving on to my number one. Charlie, I'm really curious to see what your number one is. Because mine, I'm just following you along, Charlie. I'm just
there we go.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah, I think that this is
overlap. Hey.
This would be so good as a live action movie.
So good.
This came out the year after, and this was another one that lost so much money. I read that in 2014 it was listed as one of the most expensive box office failures of all time.
It's good.
It bombed really bad, but it's really good. And like the animation is great. The character designs are great. The way that they transferred this from like a pirate story to a future pirate story was just really neat. So I also thought, okay, so maybe if they remade this, right, a lot of the people that, well, I don't know, I'm guessing here. A lot of the people that don't like a lot of the remakes don't like them because they love the animated ones so much. And they are really fixated on like, this is my version of this movie. I don't know how many people really think about this one a whole lot. Like, obviously, not many people saw it in theaters, and so unless it's kind of,
you think they'd have marketed better if they put so much money into it.
They probably did, and that's probably where a lot of the money went away. Where they lost a lot of it was in marketing, but maybe, you know, like, because this doesn't have as big of a fan base as something like Beauty and the Beast and Lion King, you know, like maybe people would be more open to seeing a live action remake of it. But I think that this would be awesome. Awesome. Again, Charlie said everything beautifully, so I don't need to add too much. You got good picks, Charlie. Good picks.
Excellent taste.
You're a good picker.
So my number one is The Black Cauldron. No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry. I thought it was.
No, this is great. This is great. Pop it up. Look, this is my number one. It's really it's not my number one, but I put it number one just because the live action remake already began. Brody's kids and my kids already have begun filming the Big Hero 6 live action remake. When we were in Reno, we watched this, and then afterwards they started filming a shot-for-shot remake. They kept their interest for like at least an hour. They filmed at least 2 scenes before they totally tapped out. They don't have the stamina quite yet to go full Capoletti, but that's okay. They'll get there. But I asked myself when I was doing this, like, what's the purpose of the remake? And for the Atlantis and Treasure Planet, it was easy because I feel like not only could those movies be really fun live action experiences, but there are like literal improvements to the storytelling and just like the general vibe of the film that could be made. This is like a near perfect animated film. So I don't feel like there really needs to be any improvement here. So when I asked myself, well, why? First, I just think it'd be really cool. We age up the kid a little bit. We kind of like get a superhero team going in this kind of like superhero dominated box office world that we live in. A new and interesting franchise built around those nanobots is really intriguing to me. Yeah. I love the Baymax character is really fun. And I was disappointed there wasn't like sequels. There's like some shorts and stuff on the Disney Plus, but
it's like a TV show.
Really seem to be, doesn't seem to be really any plans to do like cinematic follow-ups. And I just think it's an interesting universe that could really be expanded on and taken advantage of. But the real drive is like, if you imagine like you're 20 something and you're hanging out with a bunch of your buddies and you're like, hey, let's pop on a movie, then this probably isn't going to be let's put on Big Hero 6 and, a cartoon. There's still a lot of people that even in 2024, there's still a lot of people that are like cartoon. So instead go, no, not the cartoon, the live action where Ryan Reynolds is the voice of Baymax. Nice. Get a good solid cast going. I mean, Tom Cruise is the main villain. You get all sorts of fun. Imagine the stunt work he would do. He would force them to build a real Baymax suit. It would be a real Baymax. He's out there making Emily Blunt lug around 100-pound exoskeleton suit to make Edge of Tomorrow. He's gonna be all right, kids. I built real nanobots. Get him.
That's fantastic.
Have you heard that Matt Damon story that he tells on the late night shows about Tom Cruise, where he's like, he's like, oh, Tom Cruise was telling me about the Mission Impossible, and he's like, so I've got this stunt planned, and I'm explaining it to the stunt guy, and he's like, that's too dangerous, you can't do it. So he's like, well, I got another stunt guy. He's crazy, that Tom. He would do anything. He's gonna go down in a blaze of glory in a Baymax suit or something. But anyway, I think there's possibilities to expand this into like a franchise and explore more of like the universe and what those superheroes can do.
I thought about this one. This one I really, really considered. And it's tough because the animated one is so good that it's like,
really good.
Ooh, do you touch it though? Like it's there'd be a lot of CG. There'd
be a lot of CG.
Heavy CG. But yeah, no, I think it's a really good call. I'd be into it because I love the animated.
Yeah. Good choice. Right. Very good choice.
Do you guys have any honorable mentions? Anything
when I was thinking about the Great Mouse Detective, I did think I'd love to see a Great Mouse Detective done, not like in the tongue-in-cheek style, but like the way that they did the Chippendale movie with like the humans and the animation. I thought that'd be like the humans coming to like this great mouse detective. I thought that would be kind of a fun way to approach that, because I really do like the Great Mouse. I do also say Ratigan still to my family. People don't understand. I make a lot of weird references that my family just smiles and nods at. Ratigan too.
I was thinking The Incredibles. If it wasn't Encanto, I was going to throw in The Incredibles in there because that would be really cool to see. Like,
technically
that really
a Pixar. Technically a Pixar.
But Pixar is now like Disney, isn't it? And that's also another reason why I didn't choose it. Because I'm like,
owned, but it's a different studio.
I thought Brave would be pretty cool. I think that'd be a fun one.
That'd be nice.
I was trying to think about Robin Hood, but then I got hung up on the animal thing, and I was like, but it would be weird with real animals. And like, do you then just make them more animated? Would it be more Zootopia type animals, or would they look like real animals? And if they looked like real animals, it wouldn't work. So
I don't think that'd work. We've already noticed that didn't work.
What was that Fox movie that
Robin
Hood when he did the voice of?
Oh, Fantastic
George,
Mr. Fox.
Yeah. There you go.
Like that style would be good. Awkward.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
I don't know.
Now, he's just trying to think of claymation. Is stop motion count as live action? I mean, it's kind of, isn't it?
I don't know. I did consider Nightmare Before Christmas ever so briefly.
I thought of that one too, but that's
the hard R. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Very hard R.
No. All right. Well, before these guys,
dude, if you made that real, like pulling faces off and stuff. I mean, come on now, Oogie Boogie with the. Woof.
That's true. All right. Well,
see if you can ignite like vintage Tim Burton for that.
Before these guys come up with any more hard R Disney movies, let's go ahead and wrap this one up.
Hey, there's a list. Top 3 Disney movies we want to remake in hard R.
Okay.
Thank you for hanging with us. Hey, let us know what some of your favorite animated films that you would love to see come to live action. Let us know some of your thoughts on us. Give us some director ideas. Come on now, help me out.
Yeah.
Who should direct Big Hero 6, the live action film? It's it'll be an interesting thought. And it can't be Christopher Nolan for everything, Brody. You can't just say Nolan.
Oh, come on, Jonathan Nolan.
No, that's another Nolan.
Is there a third Nolan we could get in there?
His wife.
All right. Christopher Nolan's wife. We should know her name, and Mrs. Nolan will direct the third one.
You know, he kind of makes live action cartoons. Why not bring in Zack Snyder? Just have it completely mishmash of whatever. Who cares? It's very big.
Talking about Zack Snyder.